Hello everybody and welcome to the terrible atrocity that is SLR, or So Little Room. This was my entry for the contest, and if you're looking for any insight as to why I made this, that's not going to happen here, so just, yeah. Anyway, basically, this is the boss. I decided I wanted something different. This room went through... The room itself actually went through very little variation. But the enemies in it changed a lot. And at first, I was planning on having Dragon as the main boss in here, which, as you can tell, obviously did not turn out like that. Apparently, Samus, the game or whatever, did not like loading into the room that Dragon was in. So instead, I had to find some workaround. So I pulled an enemy pointer from the wrecked ship, put in a Shaktool and a bunch of Rinkas. And then, yeah, this happened. This is basically Dragon's, what was going to be Dragon's room right here. Nothing really changed between them. Just like, oh, well, Shaktool can right on the middle, and there's safe spots for the player. Yay. Well, not really safe because Rinkas, but that's part of the fun. Fun in quotation marks. So anyway, this is basically the hack. You see, this room and every other room is identical to itself, which if you haven't seen yet, you will see here shortly. Through the wonderful flashing bubbles, because everybody loves, or should love, flashing bubbles. One thing to note about this door, it is random. There are 6 different possibilities of dropping you out in rooms, and all these rooms look the exact same, so you really have no idea where you're at. Because I did make it slightly evil. There were plans to be much more evil than what it turned out being, but I decided I would just do it this. And unfortunately for me, there was an exploit that was discovered that makes this really, really easy. But this is basically the goal of the hack. Shaktools are having their annual Bubble Festival. That Shaktool was trying to win the Rinka spawning competition, and Samus just comes in and murders it because she doesn't like Shaktools. And now she's trying to escape before the Shaktool police show up. That's the best story you'll ever hear for a Metroid hack. So, the contest requires a minimum of 5 rooms. There are, in fact, 20 of these rooms, because you get 20 rooms plus the boss room. The thing is, it's not really 20 of these rooms, because it's 20 rooms in Smile. There are 3 of these in each of the 20 rooms. So you've got 60 of these little 1x1 squares. Multiply that by 4, and you have 240. That's how many doors are just in this section. And only one of those will lead you to the end game. I had plans on it being much, much worse than this, but... And the Konami code does not work, sorry. I actually did consider that, but it's like, people know that, it's too easy. And because I don't like things being easy, I decided, well, whatever. So anyway, this wonderful flashing stuff. There's the exploit. The endgame door is to the left. So here is what some people have discovered. If you just go down and left, eventually you'll run into it. Now, if you do this for so long and you don't think you're getting anywhere, which I'm kind of hoping happens, just so I can show it, but basically all you need to do is enter either the right or upwards door, or go through the left door twice or something like that to start on a new path. Because there are 60 of these little squares, and I set them up in a very specific way. I did not intend for this to happen, but it's actually kind of nice to know it is very easily beatable, except for Shaktool, since I noticed a lot of people struggled defeating that boss. And I may indeed have to go through... Okay. This is... Yeah, you see, just going through all this like this and not hitting it, that means I'm in a loop of going through these same doors. I'm never going to hit it in that loop. So if I go through the door on the right, then start the path again, I'm warping through different rooms and I might hit it this time. And the reason this happened is because there's only one door into the quote-unquote final room. That door is a down door. And then the in-game door is a left door. That's why this works. And I am struggling in my own hack, go figure. And the wonderful Tetris music. Thanks to DSO for that, by the way. And quote for the wonderful bubbles. Flashy bubbles. Best bubbles in history. Oh, there we go. So yes, that was my contest entry. Designed to be painful, turned out to not quite be as painful. My idea kind of with this, I guess I'll explain it a little bit, was there's other reasons why I made it, but I'm not going to go into those. But my thought process with this was sort of, you know, there's going to be some players who play it and just can't find the exit. They're trying to find patterns or whatever. There's no patterns to see. There really isn't. All the rooms are the exact same, except for the doors, the door connections. And the one has, obviously, the endgame BTS. Hey, 3 minutes. So there was going to be that type of experience with it. The other experience players would have with it would be they get extremely fortunate, find the end right away. That is the 2 experiences I expected, and that actually did kind of happen. So I know some beat it really fast, and others I think are still lost because they don't know that little unfortunate exploit in it. I'll have to fix that. So I am not actually sure, like, So Little Time is getting a sequel, I guess, with much more time. So Little Room, I'm not sure it will be getting a sequel. I may look into it at some point, but I wouldn't hold out hopes for it. If you really wanted another evil, terrible, bubble-filled hack, let me look for much more time at some point. Who knows, it may even be released before Fear in 2032, so yeah, that was just kind of a little bit of my thought process. And then toward the end, I'm like, I knew I wanted the flashing bubbles. Dragon didn't work out, so I came up with Shaktool and Rinka's. Made the best story ever. And then asked DSO to make the wonderful Tetris music for me because I can't do it, and because it seemed to potentially fit so well, because it's kind of a puzzle. But I wanted it more for the repetitiveness, just because the rooms are entirely repetitive in the hack, and they're all the exact same. And so I kind of wanted to put that in there just to kind of get on the player's nerves a little bit. I did that on purpose, so yes, I am a bad person. So yes, that was my terrible entry to the contest. I was honestly hoping for the worst hack of the year with this, but I'm not sure This is going to succeed though because a couple of others, namely potentially how some viewed low impact. Because some liked it, others it's the worst thing ever. And then there's even more competition from like YPR. So I was trying to go for it. I don't quite think I got there. Zach was much less evil than I had a few ideas to make it even worse, but anyway, that was SLR. Thanks for watching, and we will now return you back to the regularly scheduled episodes of YPR and Dairy.